Hello, once again, it's your senior counselor. Nigeria is still under colonial regime. Why is it that I am making this video? Nigeria is still under colonial regime. I will give you 3 reasons why Nigeria is still under colonial regime and doesn't have any independence. Most independent countries, the way they do their things, Nigeria is still not away from their independence. They said they are a republic country. They said they have independence, but majority of things which is going on in Nigeria is not under independence. It's still like somebody is still governing Nigeria. Let me give you one reason. Our educational system, we are still under somebody's idea, somebody's ideology, somebody's wisdom, and so on and so forth. Our education system is bookish. Reading, 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 reading. And then the practical aspect is just a little. Majority of Nigerians will come out from university, will come out from college of education, will come out from technical, will come out from a secondary school, still only reading, always reading, 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 reading. But the handwork is still little. Way back 1947, Germany, they sat down and they realized that no, why a whole German country should continue on learn from UK. So they sat down and then they realized that they should change their educational system from bookish to a practical field. So you can get to Germany, you can get a medical doctor who is still a seamstress, a medical doctor who is still a tailor, a medical doctor who can also do a basketry. They have the practical aspect and then they have the bookish aspect. Although they have all those practical aspects, they combine the two together. They sat down and they said, oh, our industry and then our country should move to this direction. So now, all Africa country or everybody's wish is to move to Germany. And they started from the way back because after getting their independence, some for years they suddenly said, no, we can't continue practice what UK is doing, what US is doing. So let's sit down and then do our own thing in our own way. But see our country, Nigeria, go to school, read and write, and after reading and write, you cannot even get any proper proper job. There are no job for those people who will continue to read books upon books upon books upon books. So, if you are still under this, meaning you haven't wake up from your independent or you are still under somebody's governing. It's somebody who is still governing you. 2, under our colonial time, majority of people were still suffering in terms of food, in terms of shelter, in terms of even their freedom was even curtailed by these our colonial masters. But today, the same thing. Majority of people are suffering from food. Majority of people cannot even get a shelter. Majority of people cannot get whatever they deserve. So meaning if I am talking about Nigeria is still under colonial regime, meaning what I'm saying is right. Common shelter. See majority of people who are sleeping outside. A lot of, just a few people are chopping and then a lot of people are still hungry. We need to sit down and then liberate ourselves from these canker, these our colonial masters gave it to us. We need to sit down and liberate our mind. We need to sit down, think more. We need to sit down, exercise our mental health so that we can go forward and then see to it that our people will get a total freedom, but not freedom for just a few people. This is the reason why I am making this type of video, to make sure that our country, Nigeria, will come out from their colonial regime, because we are still under there. Let's see type of even loan we are even borrowing from America, and then other countries like China. You are in a freedom country, you call yourself a freedom country, and you are still borrowing. Even after even borrowing even the money, we are not using the money wisely. We are not using the money for the appropriate plan. We plan to take that money to go and execute. We will go for a loan of, let me say, $100 million, and before we realize, 20 million will go for those projects. And then the other ones, you could see that people will squander the remaining one. So, if we live in a country where people will always think about their own interests, in our colonial regime, the same thing. Our colonial masters were thinking about they themselves, taking people into slavery, taking people from Africa into their farms, taking people from here into their country for a hard work to build their story buildings. And today, the same thing. People are doing all sorts of things. Human trafficking, people are moving from Nigeria to other country for hookup. People are moving from Nigeria to other country for ashawo work. People are moving from Nigeria in abundance because they cannot get the total freedom in which other countries they call themselves republic, independent, they are getting. That is the reason why majority of Nigerians are moving. That is it. If we live in a country where people, just few people, thinks more about themselves, just few people thought of they have everything, thought of what they are the masters, the remaining ones, all of you are just chaff. Let's sit down and think as human. Let's sit down and then think more about our country, Nigeria. Let's think about the people who put us in those vantage positions to become president, to become senator, to become governor. Let's think about the ordinary Nigerian. Let's think about the ordinary Nigeria who doesn't have money for food, who doesn't have money for shelter, even daily food 3 times daily is even a problem for some Nigerians. Sit down and let's think. Our country, Nigeria, is a great nation. Our country, Nigeria, will bounce back if we can continue to think more about our people. Senior Counselor, see you. Bye-bye.